Hey, Marco.
Hey, Thomas, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Great to see you. I see you're at home.
It's great to see you too. I figured this out. I've been so stressed about trying to figure out how to make this work. And I was texting you, where do I need to be? How do I make it happen? So
I
this
know.
worked out really well. So thank you for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. I know I was getting your text, and I was at the moment I was getting the kids out the door, getting their lunch, and my wife was in the back, and I'm like, okay, you guys, you have to get out, Thomas. And then I
Yeah.
was texting you. I'm like, okay, you got to be following me, and yeah. Anyways,
We have a friend over that we have two dogs, and he brought his new puppy.
uh,
And our dog, our youngest, is only 2, and we just had quite an active scene on the sofa behind me that I think might have not have been too perfect for this type of little interview. So luckily, they all went outside.
hey, that's the beauty, Thomas, of IG Live. It's kind of like whatever happens, happens. We're all here, we're all at home, and we're all watching what happens. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Well, live TV, feathers to the wind. What can you
Yeah,
do?
exactly, exactly. So, it's hard to be super joyous today. And obviously, what's going on in the world, with the tragic death of George Floyd
Hmm.
and watching the protests and, the rioting in different countries. You covered these types of events for years as an anchor and as a reporter. I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on everything going on right now in the world.
Well, it's completely tragic. And when you think about the fact that we're living through a deadly pandemic, that we're living through unemployment at the same type of level as the Great Depression, and now we're having a huge intersection of race once again with police brutality and the fact that it's the same story over and over again. I mean, it was 2015 when I was in Baltimore, which is my hometown, covering Freddie Gray,
Mhm.
and I know that they're having their own instances in Baltimore now, but it's the same story. And why does it take? I remember interviewing a woman who told me that peaceful protests were happening for days, but the cameras and everything only showed up when the chaos started.
Right.
And why does it take that to hear their cries for help? To hear their cries about injustice. And I think so many of us have seen that 8-minute long video of what that officer did to George Floyd. I mean, it's heartbreaking when you
It
think
is.
about it. And why was there such a wait to have charges brought, for an arrest to be made? And it's striking uh, because we don't improve.
Right.
We're living
Right.
through these same cycles over and over again without improvement,
Yeah.
and no one seems to be learning from the past.
Right, and you're in Atlanta right now. And a couple
Hmm.
of days ago, I watched the mayor, Keisha Bottoms. She delivered such a heartfelt speech to everybody in regards to appropriate protests and how she felt about everything going on. It gave me chills watching it, and I'm sure to many others around the world the same thing. Were you able to catch that, and what did you think?
I have seen clips of it, and I actually heard her this morning on CNN. I think joining Jake Tapper on State of the Union.
Right.
But she's a very powerful presence. I mean, she speaks as a mom of 4 kids. Not
Right.
only as the day job she has as being the mayor of Atlanta, and what we saw here the other night, and what happened at the CNN Center was absolutely remarkable. That for people that don't know, that intersection is right downtown by Centennial and Big Park. The
Right.
big red letters are directly across from the seeing an employee parking lot. I used to park there for 6 years, and you walk across a bridge to get in on the other level.
Mhm.
But those are iconic. Those red letters are just iconic and associated with the CNN World Headquarters. The standoff that was happening there was unbelievable. And
Right.
CNN, as the mayor was saying, CNN is telling the story, and to target them with such violence, such vitriol, such uh, almost hatred, it 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 breaks your heart as a journalist, to
Yeah.
see that. Now, if they were being calculated in a way to get media attention, well, okay, that might be a good way to go. But the destruction, uh, the pain, the chaos, the fright that it causes to the entire city, it's felt far and wide. And we're seeing that happen, Marco, in so many of our major cities, smaller market cities too, where this is an issue. People are joining in voice and they want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And where's the leadership? That's the big question. Where is the leadership coming out of DC, coming out of this Trump White House to try and heal what is once again an open wound, one that never really seems to close.
Mm-hmm. And many people are thinking that it may be people from not these cities coming in and causing the chaos and the distraction from people's real point of protesting for George Floyd and the causes that are behind it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are going to be instigators. There are going to be people that want to capitalize or have their own agendas out of this. I think what we've seen is a true Benetton of colors of people with a good intent that want to come together and be supportive where they see injustice, human injustice. It happens to be racial injustice, but it's men and women of all races, all backgrounds coming together, trying to be unified. And I don't know, there's been a string of occurrences recently, deadly occurrences, whether it's here in Georgia, it's what we're seeing out of Minneapolis. I believe the EMT, I want to say it's Breonna Taylor, that was, they had a knockless warrant and she was shot and killed in her own home. We are seeing 2020, kind of snowball into story after story like this. And I think it was Will Smith that said, it's not that, racism isn't getting stronger. It's just being televised. It's just being captured on video.
For everybody to see. Exactly.
Yeah, for everybody to see. That's the other striking thing. People at these protests, and whether it's, in whatever city, everybody having out their phones, trying to record what's happening and to share what they're seeing and what they're witnessing. I think that, the majority of the people that are showing up are doing it with genuine intent for change, for
Yes.
positive change.
Yes, exactly. And, and I love hearing your thoughts. One thing I admire about you, Thomas, for years is that you're authentic and you're true to yourself. And you posted something a couple of days ago that really struck a chord with me. And I sent you a message, and I know it, resonated with thousands around the world. I have to say, it was about, the imbalance of life right now, going through this COVID-19 and, the isolation for many people. I have to read a little quote about it. You said, right here, let me get it right here. You said, if you find yourself getting imbalanced or stressed with your spouse, or feeling overwhelmed because of work, or the reverse by being unemployed, remind yourself why you started and see if that settles your soul just a little. I found that so powerful. And tell me your mindset when you were writing that.
Honestly, mindset a little cuckoo. I mean, I'm like millions.
I get it.
Millions of Americans trying to deal with living through a pandemic and being affected by friends and loved ones that have either gotten COVID or have been killed by COVID. I'm part of the tens of millions that are currently unemployed and living through isolation with my spouse who's working from home, and I'm jealous that he's working, and I'm probably a brat. Trying to balance it all. But I have to remember why I started. What was the love of going into journalism? What was the passion there? Also, why I fought so hard for the marriage that I have now. We'll celebrate 20 years coming up in September.
Congrats.
But we have gone through major highs and lows that have, built and defined our lives.
Right.
And if you remember why you started, it's just so pure, it's just, it'll bring a smile back to your face. It'll kind of re-engage you, as opposed to letting some of the, more negative influences of personal and professional kind of knocking you off your game.
Yeah, I get it. And in my personal, situation, my wife, same thing. We both are working, but we have two kids. So when it comes to the homeschooling that many parents and people are watching now are dealing with, it's okay. They need our help. So who's going to break away from their job for that moment to help? So
Right.
it's, I mean, and we have those arguments, and we have to really think about the bigger picture, and it takes a lot. So I think when you wrote that, you have a unique situation there, as well as many other people have their own unique situation. But I went, that is such a message that people need to hear, that it's okay to not have things all in balance. We can live through imbalance and make it work.
No, I was surprised. I think the reaction that it hit with a lot of people, that people are kind of hungry to hear that and kind of just be real about it, because we're all going through so much all at the same time.
Right.
And it's hard not to let it get to you, especially when we're consumed by these images on television. We've been consumed by COVID-19 and the life-altering effects of this for months now, that we are all kind of in need of some good nourishment, some positive reassurance that many of us are feeling the same way and not really knowing the way out of it. That it's all kind of up in the air. There's no real good handbook that has come along with this.
I know there isn't. And, we don't know the end. We can just deal with what the present is and just worry about the future when it gets there. Interesting. We see Governor Gavin Newsom on TV every day giving us updates on the current state of California, what's opening, what's not. Many people don't know that he married you and Patrick back in 2012.
Yeah, so it worked out really well for us. Gavin is the godfather of marriage equality, because when he was mayor of San Francisco, he initiated that right. Then we lost that right because of Prop 8 in 2008. Right. Patrick and I at that time were living in California. We didn't think to get married then. We never thought the right would be stripped, would be taken away. Right. Then it was. In the same year that Obama was elected president. So when we got to New York, and in 2011, marriage equality passed for the state of New York, we then started planning. It happened to be that summer at an event, the LGBT Pride event at the White House, that we were in line with Gavin. We'd been acquaintances prior to this and friendly. And I just said to him while we were standing in line together, I said, we're getting married. Coming up in September of 2012 on our anniversary, would you perform? I just threw it out there, like, total Hail Mary. Would you perform and officiate? And he said, yeah. And he pulled out his calendar right away and looked at his calendar and said, yeah, I'm open. I could do that. And I was thinking, there's no way. I'm like, are you lying? Please don't pull my leg on this one. He said, no, I promise. And so it all worked out, and we planned on this for months, and he ran it through his team, because obviously he has, higher political ambitions. He was lieutenant governor at the time of California, and he wanted to make sure that this wasn't going to mess things up. And then he became ordained. He checked in with Bloomberg, who was mayor of New York City at that time, and got permission from Bloomberg to do it. And it worked out. It was the best night of my life.
That is so cool how things work out the way they're supposed to work out. I think that is... Yeah. It is so cool. And, June happens to be Pride Month, and you are such an advocate, obviously, of the LGBTQ community. What has the response been for that community really supporting you? Because over the years, you've shared things that some people were like, wow, I can't believe you shared that. And you did, because, like I said, you're authentic to yourself. But how does it feel to have that community support through everything you're going through?
It feels great. And I guess, honestly, I sometimes... I forget it. I forget about it. I forget that there are people that care about where I am or what I'm doing. I think, the last couple of years for me have not honestly been the easiest professionally. And that's caused me to isolate and pull back a little bit, where I haven't tapped into that greater resource, just because I felt honestly kind of blah, just kind of down about it. And that, so much of my identity comes from work. and if I'm not doing something that I'm really proud of, or something that I'm truly engaged in professionally, then my worth kind of depletes.
Yeah.
So recently I've been trying to re-engage and put myself, back out there to remember,
Yes.
why I started. Remember what was the catalyst for me, and it was 2006. At that time, I was living in Atlanta and working for CNN. When I came out publicly, I was the first one to do that on a national level. We've had a cavalcade of wonderful people do it in the years that have passed, and it's marvelous and it's reassuring. I feel that I did the right thing, but yeah, I sometimes I kind of I forget that there are people that really genuinely care and that are supportive, because I've just been kind of down, honestly.
Well, I have to remind you, I have to say, you were an inspiration to me when I was anchoring and reporting, gosh, years ago. I used to watch you on CNN, and I thought, Thomas's delivery, it's so real. And that's what I love. I love when you don't feel like you're watching somebody reading a prompter. And I think that's why audiences engaged with you through all that time. So I'm here to remind you that you're awesome. And I know that you will be back on the air in no time. But let's not ignore everybody who's in. It's true. I'm serious. So let me go back to these comments. So I see somebody, and is this your mom? It says Ditzy Roberts, and it says,
Yes.
so proud of you, best son in the world.
That is my mom, who I taught how to get on Instagram and Instagram Live this morning, so that she could be a part of this. But yes, her handle is Ditzy Roberts. Her grandmother name is Ditzy.
That's beautiful.
Because she used to sing Itsy Bitsy Spider to my niece.
And
And so when she would say to little Katie, what's my name? She'd say Ditzy. And anyway, so Ditzy stuck, and that's her grandmother name. So
I love that. That is an awesome story. Well, hi, Mom. I'm so glad you're watching. Somebody else put, one of my happiest memories is of watching you report on the Supreme Court's ruling for gay marriage. That was a joyous day. Your excitement made it very special.
It was a great day. Hold on, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm still here. I'm just scrolling through the comments. Hey, you guys, if you have any other questions for Thomas, feel free to leave them there. I love that you're engaging with us. That's what this is all about. So this is great.
That was a joyous day, and I won this, the Emmy for breaking news because of it. So
there you go.
We keep this over in the TV room, but yeah, that was a fantastic day because it's hard, in modern times to really have affirmative coverage that's breaking news. We do so much, whether it's about current situations that we're seeing right now, or school shooting, or something tragic, or a major weather event. So that was a really powerful day because it was moving us in a positive affirmation of society, and then to win that Emmy was also a super positive affirmation from colleagues within the industry, because we were up against terrorist attacks and the other folks in the category, and for them to pick something that was so positive, I don't know. I love the idea that we got to win for something so positive, and also something that personally, impacted me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to run off and make you think that I was, going to the bathroom or something.
Or getting a drink. I'm like, where'd he go? No. You know what? That looking at that symbol, really, you feel it. You earned that, and the fact that it was a story, like you said, that was not quite like all the other stories, and it got selected. That's a lot. I mean, you started a lot of things. You coming out, your this award, and all of that. You started a lot of different movements, and I think that is just awesome. So I'm curious, just to lighten it up, what are you and Patrick watching on TV right now?
Oh, all right. So we just started on Hulu, Little Fires Everywhere, with Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. So we just started that, and the other one, we finished Ozark. We're all caught up on Ozark. And the other one that we just started, gosh, what is the other? Obviously Real Housewives, they're on the DVR. So we, whichever city
Right.
is,
And Friends,
currently there,
of
they're
course.
all DVR'd.
Yes.
But what's the other one that we were starting? Something on Amazon Prime, and I've totally spaced the name of it. But those, I mean, we zip around from, either Hulu to Netflix to Amazon Prime. Yeah,
Yes.
all around.
Awesome, awesome. Well, somebody's asking, would you consider coming back to New York City? I understand Atlanta is better for Patrick, but we miss you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have bounced around, coast to coast, gone after different jobs. And so, yeah, New York's not out of the question. Quality of life wise in Atlanta, this is our second time here. We have great friends here. This is one of the first cities that Patrick lived in after graduating from the University of Kentucky. He started professionally in Atlanta. So he has, great early memories here. But New York, yeah, it'll always hold a very special place in our hearts because it's actually the longest place that we've ever lived together as a couple. Because we originally started, we were in Philadelphia, and then we moved to Atlanta, then Atlanta to LA, LA to New York, and New York, then back to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. And you've also done entertainment. I remember when you were on The Insider. So you kind of played the news and the entertainment thing, So what do you want to do? What is your ideal next job? Would it be working in cable news, local entertainment? What do you want to do?
All of it. I hate to define it too completely, just because I don't want to,
Limit
what the universe could put in front of us. But I used to say I could tell you what's going on from Pine Valley to Pakistan. So I still think that I can, even though all my children's not on the air anymore.
That's true. That's true. So, and finally, I'm curious, a lot of people are spending time in the kitchen. So who cooks? You or
Patrick?
Ah.
Patrick. He's the cook. Right?
Is he there?
Yeah, he's there. He's shirtless here in the background.
Hey, Patrick, how are you?
Come say hi, everybody. Come say hi. Real fast.
Yeah, join us. This is a casual situation. We just have, several hundred people watching. It's fine.
Just come say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Patrick, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, I'm hanging out in the nice, beautiful weather. So sorry I don't have a shirt on.
That's okay. Well, yeah, that's okay. What is the weather right now in New York? I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's starting to get muggy. It's time of the year for mugginess, but right now it's not too bad. It's just
the 80s.
Yeah, it's in the 80s and beautiful.
Awesome.
All right, you guys have fun. See you later.
All right. Bye, Patrick. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Enjoy sunbathing there. Yeah, here I'm in LA, and it's a beautiful day. It's a little overcast, but it is a beautiful day. So the kids are outside and doing their thing. So
we've been very lucky. It is that time where things are going to get humid and soupy here. But for the month of the month so far, we've been very lucky with some beautiful days, cooler days. No humidity. Today the temperature is definitely up there, and it feels a little thick, in the air, but it's not as bad as it could be. Yeah,
and humidity is never my favorite thing anyways, especially when I was reporting and stuff. Oh, I'd be drenched.
Yeah, you're pitting out. It's the worst. Your back's wet.
All of it.
Terrible.
Yeah. It was not a good situation. Well, Thomas, it is so great to talk to you. You look fantastic, and I can't wait to see where you will end up on air, because I know it's going to happen.
Thanks, Marco. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you for having me today. This has been really a lot of fun, and you've taught me some new things about how to even do this.
I think now you're going to be doing a lot of IG Lives. I just have a feeling.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. And so people can see you on Instagram. I want to give your handle. Thomas A. Roberts.
Yeah. So Thomas A. for Albert. Yeah. So Thomas A. Roberts, you can find me. Then there's apparently another Thomas Roberts, like some super soccer player kid that's also verified, but I'm not that guy. He's like 20 years old.
You're not that guy. You're like, I don't play soccer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome, Thomas. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and thank you so
Thank you.
much for hanging out with me.
Absolutely. Anytime. I'd love to come back. So please just let me know when I can come hang on the couch.
Absolutely. Always welcome here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm Marco Gonzalez, and I'll see you next time right here on the couch. Take care.